Now that we've got our trap attached to the T-post, we're going to go ahead and fill it up. So I suggest coming to the field with a container already full of your solution, because the solution that's going in the trap is going to be half water, half PG or propylene glycol, and you want about 300 milliliters of each, and a squirt of original Dawn liquid detergent, unscented. You want the blue original kind. You don't want the clear or lavender or citrus, because those scents may attract bees or other insects, and we don't want to do that. So I suggest you come to your site with your solution pre-mixed, and then you're just going to take it and pour it in the lid. There's some holes. I'm not going to fill this up all the way because this T-post is sitting in a piece of foam and I don't want it to dip over. But you would want to fill it up about 1/3 of the way full. And that's it. And now we're going to pretend that it's been 2 weeks and we're coming through to check the traps and collect the insects. So we come up to the trap, we fill out our data sheet either on Survey 123 or the paper backup, and we've done that. We've taken any notes, and now we want to collect the insects from the trap. Now if there's nothing in there, there's no bugs, that's okay. We just leave it and we make a note of that and we move on. We don't need to empty this for any reason. So I see there's some insects inside our trap, so we're going to just simply pull this off of the trap by sliding it up gently. Take this off. I'm going to unscrew the lid. And we cannot pour the solution on the ground, so we're going to have either another trap, an empty trap with a lid to collect this, or some other container. It's up to you. I'm going to take this and our sieve, and we're going to pull the sieve over the container. And we're going to pour the solution and all the insects into the sieve. Now if there's any left over in the trap or the sieve, you can gently scrape with a plastic spoon. We've got this. I'm going to move this out of the way, and I'm going to dump this into either a sandwich or a quart-sized bag. Those are our insects. And again, if there's anything left in here, just gently scrape with a spoon, put it in the bag, put this aside. Now, this is really important. You want to make sure that we label our bag that has the insects. So on the outside of the bag in Sharpie, we're going to have the date and the trap name. And then inside the bag, on a piece of paper in pencil, we're going to write the same information. And it's very important that it's in pencil, because when this gets wet, the pencil will not bleed off the paper. If you use a pen or Sharpie, that information will just not be on the paper anymore after a while. So we're going to zip this up. And we're going to put it in another bag, a gallon preferably size bag. And each trap collection is going to go into one big bag. And on the outside of the bag, it's going to be your refuge name and the collection date. That way we can keep everything together and organized. Now that we've done that, we are going to assemble our trap back together. Here's our trap. I'm going to put the bottom support zip tie back over. And the top zip tie over. I'm going to screw the lid back on. You can see the zip tie just stays underneath there, very simply. We're gonna put the loop back over, and, well, actually, make sure this is over to the bottom one, and the second loop. And there we have it attached back securely to the post. Make sure this zip tie, again, is underneath the lid and it's supported, and we're good. And now we're gonna refill the trap back 1/3 of the way full with our solution. Now, the solution that we poured out from the trap that we just collected, we can reuse that if it's still viable. And by that, I mean it's not super smelly, it's somewhat the same color and smell as when you put it in the first time. If it's very cloudy, very nasty, foul smelling, we don't want to reuse that. But we're gonna pretend like this is reusable. So we're gonna pour it back in. And you might want to bring, depending on what container you use to catch this, you might want to bring a funnel or whatever. You just pour it back in, and then our trap is reset. And some key notes here: we want to make sure that we're not pouring our solution onto the ground because it is propylene glycol. It should not go into the groundwater. Now, if you can't reuse the solution, we're just going to put a lid on this. We're going to pretend that there's some in here. We can't reuse it, we're putting a lid on it. We're going to take it back to our vehicle, put it in a bigger bucket if we want to, with a lid, and take that back to our facility and either dispose of it or store it for someone to come take it and dispose of it. And that's it.